Again, thank you for the introduction. Hey, my name is Gordon, and today's topic will be building an intelligent, self-driven, secure network through our Aruba ESP. So let's go ahead and start. So Aruba ESP itself. So who is Aruba? For those that just know Aruba, Aruba is a HPE Intelligent HBU business unit founded in 2002. So we have about 3 billion annual revenue, and we are the number 2 market share in terms of wireless and wired enterprise connection. So we also have roughly about 7,000 plus employees, and this number is always growing. 300 plus patent awarded since 2021, and we do have actually a dedicated sales and engineering support for our so-called customers. And we are always in the Gartner Magic Quadrant leaders over the last 16 years. Our HQ is in San Jose, CA, where the technology development centers are across several countries. Besides San Jose, they are also in Bangalore, Quebec, Costa Rica, and as well as Beijing. So Aruba, always a Gartner leader for the last 16 years in the wireless and wired LAN infrastructure. Positioned by Gartner as one of the key players for the last 16 years is actually tremendously hard. So what we have done over the last 16 years is always being able to lead by example, lead the entire industry with our innovation. So what are the innovations that we have done over the past years? Let's take a quick look. The 2 decades of leadership and innovation. Rightfully, we started off with 2002 with our first wireless LAN controller. I still remember I started off doing wireless controller in 2005. AOS 1.0, and as of now we are doing AOS 10.0 already. It's been a good 20 years. And when we started off, our first customers wanted to say that was wireless is by controller. Then as time goes by, we see the need of using BYODs, securing them, because iPhones actually flips the IT world upside down. As you can see, BYOD becomes something of prevalence as of today. Then slowly, this IoT or BYOD devices starts to gain traction with UCC. You need to actually have unified communications like Skype. And until now, we see Zoom, Teams, and so on and so forth. And we also then was acquired by HP Enterprise in 2015. And of course, we acquired the ProCurve wired switching capability. And we did not stop there. We continue to innovate after the acquisition by HP Enterprise, putting in AI capability into our solution, such as AI in security, AI in our operation. And that's how we actually evolve with our current central solution right now. And of course, in the year 2020, we had a hit of a pandemic. And from 2021 itself, we saw the pandemic rose, and we see a change of workplace services. We see people working from home. We see people working from everywhere, any corner that you want. And that's where the birth of the hybrid workspace services starts to gain traction. Aruba recognized that and accelerated the EH strategy through the acquisition of Silver Peak. And now Silver Peak is already part of what we do day in, day out through our solution. So let's take a look at the main topic today, the Aruba ESP platform. We play around with words ESP, we play around with this word ESP. Some people call it ESP as extra sensory perception, something like a sixth sense. How do you wish your network have a sixth sense, knowing things are happening and actually knowing if something is breaking down, and give you so-called information on how to resolve it? Just like this car over here, a car that knows how to drive by itself, a car that knows how to stop when there is actually a problem arising, when someone is crossing the road, when you're doing a turn, or when you are doing an uphill right up. So the car must be able to know what is going on and automate and do its own driving without the need of manual intervention. We put all this state that we want for a car into our network. That is how Aruba is driving our AI-powered sixth sense network that's automated and protected at the edge. So let me share with you how we do it. Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay.
First, there was mobile, then cloud, Now it's massive amounts of data at the edge. But what is the edge? It's where people, technology, and data come together to do amazing things. Robots in factories, augmented reality and diagnostics in healthcare, or personalized experiences in a sports stadium or office. That's the edge. This is a disruption your network needs to be ready for. But the edge brings a whole new set of challenges to your network. IT is hampered by siloed management across wired, wireless, and WAN. IoT and mobile devices continue to erode the security perimeter. And visibility fades as infrastructure moves beyond IT's direct control. Traditional networking must change. You need a network that can see what people can't see, a network that can fix problems before they happen. That's where Aruba Edge Services platform comes in, the industry's first platform with an AI-powered sixth sense designed to automate and protect the edge. Aruba ESP uses AI Ops to reveal and resolve issues before they impact users or the business. Unified infrastructure to bring management and troubleshooting onto a single platform. And zero trust security to modernize protection methods and address the complexity and new attack vectors of IoT. And it's all accessed and managed through a single pane of glass, Aruba Central. You get actionable AI insights, a unified infrastructure, and security for wired, wireless, and SD-WAN operations across the campus, branch, and data center. It's time for a new way to think about your network. It's time for your network to do some thinking. It's time for Aruba ESP.
So as you've seen, Aruba ESP is not just a product. It's actually a framework. So what we have here is actually a framework that can actually build on your remote access, can build on your branch office, cloud offices, or even your campus, or even the data center. We start off with three key pillars here. The connection pillars that takes on the wireless, wired, SD-WAN, 5G, and even IoT. We also have the protection layer that takes on, of course, the visibility, the authentication, the continuous monitoring, and of course, there will be policy enforcement. And we, of course, embed this with our zero trust networking, plus embedding the SASE architecture to bring you the edge to cloud security. Last but not least, we have this thing called analyze and act, an onboarding process and provisioning process to get device on the network easily, orchestrating any sort of configuration down the line without the need of manual intervention, analyze the environment and give you the correct options of what is happening on the network, not to mention location tracking and manageability. And that's what we call AI Ops. So today we will talk about the key two pillars here, analyze and act, plus the protect layer. And all this can be done as a service. What do you mean by as a service? All this as a service on the Aruba Central platform can be served easily through our simple software as a service layer that we actually provide the cloud hosted network management for our end users or our partners. If customers were to take a step further and would like to actually go onto the journey of a network as a service, where we accelerate every step in your network utilization easily, including the provisioning, analytic, and optimization of the network, either via your partner or the Aruba experts, we can provide you the network as a service option. Of course, not to mention, we also have the usual HP Enterprise Financial Service. All this built upon the necessary device that you can purchase from us, whether it's from the unified infrastructure of a switch, SD-WAN, or even the AP, to the cloud security portion, whether you are talking about ClearPass Policy Manager, Client Insight, or to the provisional portion of the AI Ops. This is a flexible consumption model in our ESP architecture. So let's jump into the AI Ops portion, where we use big data, machine learning to automate IT operation process. Let's go for a short little video that I'm going to show you again.
Aruba ESP is the industry's first platform with an AI-powered sixth sense. This means you can eliminate support tickets by resolving issues before they impact your users or the business. It shortens resolution time by as much as 90% and increases network capacity by up to 25% without adding hardware. Let's take a look at how Aruba AI Ops makes a difference. Imagine you're operating a chain of retail stores with heavy foot traffic. Before you even know there's a problem brewing, Aruba AI Ops uses telemetry data analysis and machine learning to determine that 30% of your store's networks are not performing at the highest level for guests and employees. Aruba AI Ops determines that the mobile devices of people walking past are unintentionally probing your store's access points, placing a bigger than normal load on those networks. Aruba AI Ops gives you a recommendation to adjust the probe threshold for all the stores it identifies with the issue. So within minutes, not days or weeks, you're aware of a problem that nobody has noticed. And Aruba AI Ops automatically recommends changes to improve the network's performance for those specific stores. With 17 years of networking expertise and a huge install base, we're collecting anonymized telemetry data from over 65,000 customers, 1 million network devices, and 50 million client devices on a daily basis. But it's not just about how much data is collected. Aruba AI Ops has a unique categorization capability that groups similar networks together for more insightful and relevant analysis. More data, categorized more effectively, results in machine learning models tailored specifically for your network with greater than 95% accuracy. This means problems are solved quickly, even preempting them before they happen. Aruba AI Ops also gives you the actual root cause of the problem, not just stats and a hint like some other solutions. As a result, Aruba AI Ops is the industry's first network management solution to go beyond AI-based problem solving to deliver continuous and automatic network optimization that benefits your applications, users, and your business. As a core component of Aruba ESP, our edge services platform, Aruba AI Ops is saving you time and letting you deliver an outstanding customer experience no matter where your users are. For more information, go to arubanetworks.com/AIOps.
Yep, that's about our AI Ops. So why is the Aruba telemetrics AI Ops different from the others or advantage from the others? As of today, we have more than 2 million LAN and WAN devices on the network. These are all the data captured on our telemetric single data lake called Central. 200 million endpoint clients, looking at 110K of customer configuration. And we use something called peer comparison, putting them into different industry, in this case, 30 plus different industry, seeing the similarity between them, between the large and the small. We have more than 6 to 7 years of data enrichment. That means we actually started off AI Ops way before any of our competitors out there has done it before. With a single data lake, with the quality of data that we have captured over so many years, we give you the new IT efficiency that no other vendors can do as of now. So I'm going to give you some example of how we actually do AI Ops. One key features that we are doing for AI Ops is a trusted AI models for network management. Using AI Insight, having a proactive network anomaly detection and optimization, knowing what is happening to your network, giving you the information to optimize it accordingly. We also have something what we call AI search, the ability to use our network search like a Google platform. Just search it. Example, today you want to search for some names. For example, I want to search for Gordon's laptop. I just put in Gordon and all my equipment, whether it's my laptop, my iPhone, my MacBook, will all start appearing on the system, and I just need to choose accordingly and see what is the problem with it. Next, we also have AI Assist, the ability to automate Aruba tech troubleshooting ticket generation without the need of IT intervention. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. This will help IT generally to take the monkey away from the shoulder. So we also have the new client insight to give you visibility, not just the device signature, knowing that this is an iPhone. It is not enough. How is it behaving on the network? What are you doing on the network? Are you going, for example, a CCTV in this case, going to Netflix? Something must be wrong. We are able to see all this. At the same time, we are able to use incident detection using our user experience insight. In short, we call UXI, to automatically know what are the applications performing in the network, engage, is it performing correctly or degrading in their performance, and I can actually send an information back to IT to do some sort of check and balance. So Aruba Central Cloud AI Ops strength is always real result, real AI. Learning continuously. We do not have a static so-called baseline. We always use the dynamic threshold rather than manual baselining. We also innovate through our IT leadership. Only solution that offers troubleshooting and long-term optimization, meaning we actually look at peer comparison between one company and the other. Why is one company using the same setup as compared to the other performing not as good as it? Then we look at their status, look at their comparison in terms of their settings and stuff like that, and even their clients. And then from there, give you the performance optimization per site basis. We also give you a benchmark in terms of accuracy to quickly have a root cause analysis on a per site basis. Let's take a quick example in Aruba AI Ops in action. We quickly resolve one of the problems that IT always have, having challenges in the world of wireless, such as IoT devices, going 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. User complain about poor Wi-Fi performance. What do we do? Normally having an engineer on site, and from there to look at the problem day in, day out. Today, if I can tell you, this man-day job of having an IT there, sitting there, waiting for things to happen, do not need to be there. And you do not need to have a Wi-Fi expert. All you need is the network insight of Aruba AI Ops to look at the issue and prescribe you with a root cause analysis and what to do. And that itself has a better outcome as compared to an engineer, because we have all the data there and we ingest it and provide you with the correct outcome that you should be getting, or the settings that you should be doing, rather than having you run around the network settings and trying to every single knob that you need to set up. No, we tell you what exactly needs to be done. And with that knob that you change, it actually gives you a better outcome and faster resolution time as compared to having an engineer on site. Another predict and preempt issues that we saw was a continuous optimization of traffic, because customers always tell us that my indoor traffic is always degraded. And this is a true case whereby employee and guests calling for help. Normally for such case, again, an employee or an IT engineer needs to be deployed on site, waiting for things to happen, taking his laptop, scanning around, ensuring the setting is correct, or checking the knobs one by one. You don't have to do that with our network insight. We tell you what is the knob to adjust accordingly. Again, without the need of IT intervention. Of course, all our wireless AI ops is great, but we also have the switching AI ops in place. For more of this, we will actually advise you to reach out to our management, our so-called accounts manager, and they will actually advise you a little bit more. Next, just now I talked about AI assist, a dynamic log collection and Aruba tech engagement. How does that sound? When problem occurs, data logs are being captured, rather than having you, customers logging a call, and at the end of the day, you need to be having someone on site. And by having that someone on site did not solve the problem, because likelihood the problem has already gone. How many of us has faced that before as an IT engineer? Instead of waiting for things to happen again, Aruba offer you the opportunity to use our AI assist to log the case, capture the logs, necessary logs, and then provide this to our tech on the back end. And then using the tech notification option in the advanced settings to actually come back to you with the resolution. So if your IT team were to know this, have this, what you need to do is to go into the morning, look at the tech case and see, hey, I have already have a tech case open and a resolution, right? For example, it's already given to us. and I'll just change the knob accordingly. And this is done according to our AI. Why? Because not all AI can be optimized. Some are cornered cases, and we realize that, and we need this to be done as according to per site basis as well. That's why we tell you that although AI can do a lot of things, but we also recognize that AI can't do all. So we came up with such AI assist to help IT. Moving ahead from AI, we go ahead to zero trust. Just now, my previous speakers talked about zero trust. Thank you for setting the stage. And zero trust, trusted security is something that everybody is looking forward to. The identity-based network access control is something that we always wanted. And what is a zero trust, Aruba zero trust looking at? Aruba zero trust is the foundation whereby we look at client visibility to know who exactly is connected to the network. From there, providing you with your authentication, giving you a single role per device connected to the network. Giving that role, we give a different access based on your role rights. Then we continuously monitor your devices how you behave on your network. Example, connecting to a malware website, clicking it because it's a phishing link. By all means, you will be, if you connect to Aruba ClearPass integration with some firewall, we can actually do this kind of connectivity and remove you from the network and enforce and respond accordingly. And in short, we call this SOAR, Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response, without the need of actually IT intervention. IT intervene when to remove the correct problems and check on the client's perspective and check on the incident itself. Visibility is the first to security gaps. Having client insight, knowing who is coming into the network, what device you bring into the network, at what time, at which location. Is it from home base? Is it in the office? Is it at the cafeteria? Is it at the Starbucks? We need to know this. What resources you are using. We profile all things and trust none of this. And that is the first basic of zero trust. Knowing what's connected, real time, 24/7. With our AI-powered client insight, we have the capability to know what exactly is connected to the network at the same time, knowing what are the profiles and the signature plus the behavior of this network. Example given earlier on, CCTV going to Netflix. Something must be wrong. My printer is trying to access Amazon networks. Wow, something real wrong. So from there, we must be able to profile these devices, check the behavior, and work out some sort of enforcement at the end of the day so that these devices will not become will not help you to get you on the news that is not so favorable for most of the customers. We do not want your company to be on the next big news in the IT forum. So all these are very critical, not just knowing what is on the network, how they are behaving on the network. So with the knowledge of who is connected to the network, what are you, what device you bring in, we then proceed with a trust enforcement. The control mechanism, we just need 3 types of devices over here: the ClearPass Policy Manager, the Enforcement Gateway, our edge, whether it's the switch or the access point, giving every single devices connected to the network a role, a destination to go to. A corporate device going to Office 365, a BYOD going to Office 365, but not an academic record because it's not a corporate device. And IoT devices, deny of a malware, a guest going to share an air group Apple TV there. This is all done on top of your existing underlay, meaning I do not need to uplift your existing switches that you have purchased from third party, don't need to change all the distribution, the edge, the core. I can do it as an existing overlay without the need of rip and replace easily. And that is what we call dynamic segmentation. Segment every single equipment according to their role, giving you a role-based firewall, a layer 7 firewall through our policy enforcement firewall. But of course, all these are what we say legacy. And limitation of legacy networks exists in all solutions today. When you have one network, you have one set of security policy. When your network starts to grow to 2 branches, you have 2 more security policy. And all the ingress nodes needs to add on all the egress policy. That means in layman term, when my network grow, my security policy grow. That is for sure. What if today Aruba can tell you, with our solution, I decouple the network side of things away from the security side of things, whereby in today, if my network were to grow, my security policy stands unless there is something different going on. Let me show you the solution that we are talking about. It's an end-to-end fabrics enforcement, introducing you Aruba Central Net Conductor, unifying the network overlay policy traffic at scale, using a business intent-based workflow to ease off the operation, meaning CCTV going to CCTV server throughout your entire network, whether it's the branch, whether it's the HQ, whether it's the campus, is just one intended policy. There is no added policy that you need to change or add. Again, this is all automated without the need of you touching the WAN side of things, the core switch, the firewall. There is no need for that. All these configurations are propagated down easily because we use widely adopted protocol and interop with ease of adoption. And how do we do it? We do it with something what we call an easy button, or configuration that is role-based, automatically pushed down to the infrastructure. And this overlay architecture allows you to build more security with less security load on the IT side. And that is how we decouple the network against the security. We distribute the configuration from side 1 to side N accordingly, whether it's the gateway, the access switch, accordingly. No longer I will need to touch any of these things. Everything is distributed through the orchestrator called Central. And of course, comes to third-party integration, which is very crucial to all IT, because in security, just now there was a gentleman in the previous asking about guarantee of security policy. There is no guarantee, but in Aruba, we trust that zero trust is always a layer approach. There is no one vendor able to capture the whole security forum, and no one vendor can guarantee that using their product, you will be 100% safe from the hackers. So what do? We actually have the capability to work with multiple tier 1, tier 2 vendors out there, whether it's the Palo Alto of the world, the Junipers of the world, the FortiGates of the world, and do the necessary so-called working relation with third parties, multi-factor authentication like a mobile iron, Sorty, Google, BlackBerry, etc. And if I want system information or ATP such as a FireEye, Symantec, I can work with them as well. And we also work on a multi-vendor approach through our ClearPass exchange ecosystem. So we talk about campus data security. What about the data center security out there? With the data center ability, we are looking at one key feature. How do we improve network scaling and simplicity? A lot of times when we talk about that, people say, oh, it's very simple. A data center, the north-south traffic I've governed through my firewall. East-west traffic, my firewall as well, because we need to make sure the application A talking to application B is secure. And that is for sure the key fundamental of apps to apps or B2B security. Introducing you a new way of switching category, a distributed service switch, CX10K. With a routing and switching capability on our CX10K, this is the top of the rack solution for our data center. It comes with also a layer 4 and layer 7 stateful services. What are these services? Such as firewall, denial of service attack, encryption, NAT, load balancing, and telemetrics. These are the the performance metrics that we can do or deployment or the services that can be held on this CX10K, helping you to get a more efficient B2B or apps to apps connectivity. So let me give you a good example of how do we help you scale up your data center without the need of actually exploding on your firewall. Look at this. This is a typical way of your spine and leaf fabric. And all the services are at the leaf area. How do we improve network scaling and simplicity? Probably we need to have a bigger firewall because workload on A server needs to talk to workload on another server in the A rack. B rack talks back to B rack. And guess what? All the traffic transfers back to the E rack where our firewall is, because I need to inspect all the traffic. Is this efficient? May not be, because as time goes, more and more traffic is going to transfer to E firewall than back. What if I can tell you, instead of doing this, you have a smaller firewall that's governed the north-south, still there, but all the leaf are governed by our top of the rack CX10K. The ability to secure the apps and where they are and improve security posture and limit the application appliance sprawling, optimize your network performance and bandwidth, and thus simplifying the whole network and security provisioning operation. Over here, when the A servers needs to talk into any servers in A, maybe A server 1 talking to A server 2, it doesn't get out of the rack. So does the B server and C and D. And what if rack wants to talk to another rack? Application A wants to talk to application B, etc., or B to C in this case. I don't even need to go to the server E rack where the firewall is. First thing, I cost saving on my existing firewall. As you know, more firewall means more cost, and firewall doesn't come cheap in the DC. And because of the number of traffic, amount of traffic, the amount of bandwidth you transverse between application, the firewall is likely to be bigger than you have subscribed initially, and you will be paying a lot more. So with our solution, what we are doing is not just reducing the cost, we also optimize the network bandwidth performance as we go along the way. And this is the new distributed service architecture that Aruba is able to bring to the DC world in terms of securing the world. So in our summary, the intelligent edge requires a new thinking and a new platform. The Aruba ESP is a cloud-native AI-powered platform for automating and unifying and securing the edge. At some point in time, using the edge, we can even achieve SOAR with third-party integration. SOAR as in secure orchestration, automation, and response through our visibility, authentication, continuous monitoring, and enforcement. How do we get there? Just 3 steps: the connect, the protect, and the analyze and act. Take note, to do all this, I do not need to rip and replace your existing network. And with that comes to the end of my session. I thank you very much. And my name is Gordon.